Welcome back to the Turn on the Music podcast. This is episode 5. As always, I am joined by my good buddy CJ. CJ, how are you doing today?
How's it going, Kyle? Things are good.
That's good. It's been a rough day, but I am glad to be here. So,
yeah, definitely, I agree with that.
I know you've had a long week, but yeah, today was a fun day. No, it was not at all. So we have another interview episode today, and I'm going to let you do the honor of introducing our guest because he is
Last week I couldn't read. This week you can't speak.
It was a rough day.
Yeah. So I'd like to introduce my brother.
Hello.
Nicky, who we will be giving out more information as we go along, but we just want to introduce him. So we're going to do our normal thing. What are you listening to this week, Kyle? What did you listen to?
So I thought we'd do something fun with this week's What Did We Listen To? Because I found this yesterday, and one of the things I enjoy doing, like with radio stuff, I enjoy listening to someone and trying to picture them in my head. So I thought we'd play a short clip of the artist, and then I'll let you guys kind of get a picture of the artist in your mind, and then I'm going to play another clip to kind of give you a little more idea of what this person might look like, and then I'll show you a picture so the audience can play along. Don't cheat by going to look in the show notes, but I'll give you this is the quick instrumental snippet of the artist I've been listening to.
It's like a trivia?
Oh, I have to share my audio. Hang on.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That would be awesome if I remember to share my audio. So.
Guys, bring up Google. No,
Quick, put it up.
Figure it out.
Computer audio and share. Okay, so let me go back here, and here is our first clip. Okay, so that's clip number 1. That's purely instrumental. So to give you a little bit more insight, to give you another little picture into the artist, here is some vocals.
This is
the same artist?
Same artist.
Same shredder from the song before?
Same shredder from exactly the same person. Same show, same everything.
Try to think. I mean, I know I sent you a couple of things over the past couple of days.
Surprising. I was like curse word A.
Yeah. I found this artist. So her name is Hannah Wickland. And I found her on the Rune forums, as always. And at the time of this recording, she's 22 years old. And she is now 24, 25. First off, to play blues like that and shred like that at 22, wow.
That's insane.
And
that
to
is
have
crazy.
that feel, like, it's unbelievable. I was blown away. Like, I know when we mentioned Amber Rubarth, like, Amber took a while to grow on me. Like, she's like the next, for me, the next Joe Bonamassa. Like, when I saw Joe at Riverhead Blues Festival when he was in his 20s, this is the same thing that I felt. It was like, this is amazing. She's up and coming. She's incredible. And I think she's going to be around for a long time. So that's what I've been listening to.
That's insane. I couldn't see her shredding. And then hearing that, it was just the guitar player of her band.
And she's got, like, I mean, her hair is like, 5 feet long. It's all curls. It's huge.
Awesome.
It's,
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. I think I've seen her come up, like, as a look through Instagram for instrumentalists. I think I've seen her come up.
Yeah.
Did we? Is that when we saw Joe Bonamassa together?
No.
We saw it later on, right?
Yeah, later on.
Okay.
That was when he was in his 30s.
Right.
I saw
the
Joe.
theremin.
How old is he now?
Theremin.
He's just about 45, maybe. He's a little
Really?
older.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he was older.
No.
No.
I thought Bonamassa was like at least in his mid-50s.
No.
Well, then.
He's close to my age.
That's
Yeah.
well. You got.
I'm not far.
You mean closer to me?
Yeah,
Like,
sure. Closer to the old man.
Yeah. All right. So Nick,
I was thinking about doing her as a full episode. The problem is that she's so new. She's got an album and a half.
Check social media. Maybe you could find more on there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit on social media. There's a little bit on her website. But, you know, I've only had a day I found her literally yesterday, and I was blown away. So
let's do some research and see what we can do. Maybe we'll do a couple artists together that are like...
She American, or is she like overseas?
American, yep. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I think she's from California. I couldn't even find that out. So, yeah, I don't know. When she was touring, she was in Atlanta, so maybe she's from down south. I don't know. But, you know, maybe the listeners, if the listeners have any connections to her, maybe we can get her on here and...
Yeah,
have her share her
really
story
awesome.
instead of, you know, us guessing. So
cool.
But what about you guys? You guys listening to anything?
Let's go to Nicky first. Nicky, you listen to anything special this past week or whatever?
You know, it's a mix. I'm listening to a lot of I'm recording, so I'm listening to all the stuff that I'm, you know, and it's annoying because I'm listening to figure out if I'm doing it right or not.
Yep.
But if I had to say, what am I? Oh, I recently came across, you know, I haven't had that moment of hearing a band for the first time and having like a little connection to it.
Uh-huh.
I haven't had that in years. And I think one night at the bar, it was like 2 weeks ago, we're closing up, counting money, and I heard this song by a band called the Growlers.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew this band. And so I've been listening to a lot of them lately, like learning, like trying to learn, hear more of their stuff.
They from Long Island?
What?
From Long Island? Or they
no, they're California.
Oh, really?
They're a California band. And now they have like I play reggae music, so they have a little bit of a reggae. This particular song, it's very indie rock, and I love indie. And I was literally one of those songs where I'm like, what is this? I Shazammed it. I needed to, you know, I haven't had that moment in many, many years.
Nice.
But so the Growlers has been on my top list right now that I've been listening to, and I really like them a lot.
Nice.
And they have
check them out.
They have 30 million followers. And you know, I didn't realize they're bigger than I thought. And I was like, oh,
yeah, wow.
Okay, yeah. I think they were the album, the song I listened to. I can't even remember the name, because I've been listening to a bunch of them. But so that's on my.
Nice. Well, we'll put a little snippet of them in there.
Comes out right when you're trying to say something clean. It's hard to hide from the thrashing nights. Nobody cares about a junkie's dream, more of a sucker than a fiend. It's hard to turn down a smiling friend when everything becomes a scene. You can't make old dreams brand new again.
Yeah, they're really cool.
That'd be awesome.
Definitely an indie rock sound. Like, wow, you can tell the Strokes probably was an influence on them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big Strokes fan, but they're definitely solid. Good rock and roll.
Nice.
You know,
excellent.
a mix of all.
And CJ,
Cool.
what about you? Anything from you or?
Nothing crazy special. What happened is at work, they've been listening to a lot of 80s rock, and I kind of went with that. And every time I've gotten in the car lately, I've been putting like 80s rock and those, you know, typical songs that you hear and you're like, oh, it's Journey. Oh, it's Forder. You know, so I've been doing that. But
Driving in the nighttime in his Camaro.
But
you know, really staring into the night.
I know I spoke to you about it because I texted you briefly about it. The Last Dragon song came up, and I was just like, oh. So I listened to the whole album multiple times because there's a lot of great artists on there.
Yeah.
You know, but that first song on that album, that's 7 minutes. The Last Dragon is fantastic.
I know. That's the one thing about the song that gets to me. It's like, all right, get to the point. Tell me about the power of the glow. Okay, you know, that's what I want to hear. You know?
It's hysterical, but that's it. Nothing crazy. And next week's artist, which I'm not going to say because I want that to kind of be like a little bit of a surprise, but I've been listening to our artist spotlight next week a little bit, you know, next episode, so we can, you know, have some background knowledge on that person. But Nothing crazy. Nothing that I can say
that's
was
fine.
unique or different or something like that.
And you know, I mean, that's what this is about too. It's, you know, because we don't always listen to crazy stuff. You know, there was, you know, Jacob Collier plays a lot in my car. You know, that's just what happens.
Yeah. Ask Kyle what's his guilty pleasure is. If you haven't listened to the first episode.
What is?
Carly Rae Jepsen's "Call Me Maybe."
There's your surprise, sir. There's your surprise.
That's only one. There's another one. Oh, we got two of them.
No. I had planned another surprise
Uh-huh.
to go on to last week when you brought up what are we drinking this week,
Uh-huh.
and you had Liquid Death, which again we're not sponsored, but we'll be welcome to take this sponsor.
Absolutely.
So I asked the gentleman that we're interviewing to pick up one of his favorite non-alcoholic beers.
He
beers.
didn't show up tonight.
This guy didn't show up. So forgot to bring the non-alcoholic beer. So I don't have anything to. There goes that second surprise. But enjoy the little sound.
So
what is it an energy drink?
No, it's sparkling water. It comes in 4 flavors. There's regular, there's sparkling water, there's berry, which they call berry alive.
All right.
Severed lime and mango chainsaw.
Mango chainsaw?
Yeah.
Mango chainsaw. So it's supposed to look like it's in a beer can, and it's awesome. It's great stuff. I like it. This is just the regular sparkling water today.
So you continued the Liquid Death into
I
this
continue
week.
the Liquid Death because I want to be
That's fantastic.
sponsored.
Listen, hey, you're all out. You never know.
Show
You never
me
know.
the support.
Brought the Athletic Brewing non-alcoholic beers. Those are the best ones that I've had so far.
Okay.
They have 3 different kinds, and they're delicious.
Maybe I'll grab for next week.
They're worth
We'll see.
worth trying for the non-drinkers out there as me.
Again, not sponsored, but if you're listening, we're welcome.
Yeah.
Yep, we're definitely open.
So yeah, we're not drinking anything this week.
Drink a ginger ale.
He's got a ginger ale.
Yeah.
That's
Well, with
because
those straws, you could.
because we're recording in an Italian basement kitchen, so that's what you have is ginger ale.
It smells
tomato
like
sauce.
basil and tomato sauce in here.
You could use those straws to reach the tomato sauce behind you on the
That's
stove.
it. That's exactly what for. There's little pieces of bread in it.
Too much.
Oh boy.
Anything interesting that you wanted to share outside of anything else we talked about? Like, did anything come up? You something come across?
Well, you brought some stuff up about last week's episode.
Oh,
Do you want to
I'm glad.
go into
Yeah.
that real quick?
So I wanted to kind of correct something that I said. It's not that I was wrong, but I wasn't 100% right with it. We spoke about Sarah Watkins in the last episode, the phenomenal, fiddler and singer from Nickel Creek. And I took the opportunity to go back to her website and read about her projects, and specifically, and I'm going to say the title of the album wrong.
Under the Pepper Tree.
Under the Pepper Tree. Thank you. And I read the project a little bit more. I probably should have read further before we hopped on last week. And she did intend for this to be a family album, not necessarily a children's album, but a family.
I think family implies children.
No, I know, but I think I think genre-wise, we classify children's album and then we classify family
I see what
album.
you're saying. Yeah. Okay.
So she definitely did it as a family album. And Kyle brought up the fact that it was gapless, that it just went song into song into song. And she did state the reason for that was because she wanted it to be a continuous feeling, a continuous song, a continuous singing. And if you had a record player, you'd listen to side A on one night and you listen to side B on the second night, and you wouldn't have any gaps between the songs. And if in Edelweiss, her daughter does sing a little bit in Edelweiss.
Yep.
So I wanted to correct that and put out the proper information because I still think it's a fantastic album, and
Absolutely
I wanted to. So again, we'll link. She's linked in our previous episode notes. You could check out her website. They have some great information there.
Yeah,
It talks about her projects.
I'll put the episode the link to her website in the show notes as well.
So thank you for reminding me on that one.
Yep.
Is she a local artist? I don't know.
No, so Nick. As we know, you didn't listen to last week's episode. So Nickel Creek is a
Listen to any podcast I got to start. I'm just
was a band that I like a folk band that I came across back when I was in Florida in 2004 or 5,
okay.
and she's one of the performers out of there that started doing her solo stuff, and she's
Yeah,
phenomenal.
they're out of California.
Yes,
Nice.
they're out of California, right? So yeah, that I just wanted to I just wanted to update, make sure I had the correct information out there. So
Awesome.
cool. I'm assuming you don't have anything to add to that because I
No,
was the
I'm-
only one to read.
Yeah,
I'm the only one who read it.
The only thing I had to add was I watched the Nickel Creek Tiny Desk concert today, and it was awesome.
Yeah,
I had never
it's-
seen it before. So.
Yeah,
I love those shows. Too.
yeah. You gotta. Yeah, again, check them out. Awesome, very cool.
Yep.
So, do we want to lead into the questions?
Let's do it. Let's start the interview.
Do you want me to do the questions and you do the rapid fire?
That works for me.
Awesome. Okay. So, first question. Ready?
Was this rapid? I said
No.
rapid fire?
These are the ones that
Do you want to do rapid
I
fire
did
first?
send you.
Jam.
All right. What drew you to music?
Our grandfather.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on. That's what we grew up on. Now, like, and we grew up in classical music and all that stuff. Both grandparents. Think about it. Hugo was a violin player, but Grandpa Paul being an opera singer, it was just embedded. So we're always musical. That's why we came into musical theater. That's really what brought me into the joy of performance in general. And writing became actually later. It was more just performing it that started
Right.
at first.
Right. Because I think I mentioned very similar. Grandpa Paul was not very good with theory, but he liked to try to write.
He just was,
but he was
a performer.
He was a performer. He was a very good singer.
He could play, he could perform, he did his thing, watching him play the piano, things like that. Just the enjoyment that he had when he was doing it. I was like, all right, I want that.
Yeah.
I want that enjoyment. I want to see.
Yeah, I was watching a video about Victor Wooten and how he teaches music, and he was talking about how we focus too much on theory when we're teaching instruments
Right.
to kids.
It's
Yeah.
how it's supposed to feel and sound to me. I understand theory and what's important for of it, but the importance of it, but. You can't go by the book all the time, man.
Right, right, yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
sometimes it's just like,
But
it
I
may
think-
not be the right way, but this sounds nice. Let's go
Yeah,
with it,
But to
Yeah.
your point, I think that's what made Grandpa Paul so good at what he did, because he always said to me he wished he went back to school and got his theory degree. But I think because he didn't have as much knowledge. I mean, he read music, he played piano. It wasn't that he wasn't capable. But I think that's what made him so good at what he did, is because he didn't have that previous knowledge or notion to it.
Yeah. My theory is very. My theory is not good,
Yeah,
but
I taught Theory 3 in college,
uh,
so
and so it's probably great.
yeah, it was pretty good.
I'm still learning relative minors or an augmented seventh with a diminished fifth in the back. What? What does that mean? So.
All right. Number 2, and I'm curious about this myself. I don't think we've ever spoken about this.
I read that question and I was curious myself.
Do you? He's like, I don't even know what I am.
I don't know.
I don't know. The question would be: do you consider yourself a singer or an instrumentalist?
Oh God, this is a tough. I would probably say a singer more than an instrumentalist, but I do. I like to learn all instruments. An instrumentalist. It's hard to answer that. I would say I'm more of a singer. My singers are out of all the instruments I play, I think my voice is the best instrument for me personally in what I do. But I also don't like to perform without having an instrument either. And multiple things.
So, all right.
So
that's fair.
my follow-up question to this has always been, because you consider yourself a singer, when you listen to new stuff, do you focus on lyrics more, or do you focus on the chord progression behind it and what's going on instrumentally?
Oh man, instrumentally, because I'm not a good writer.
Right.
I could sing melodies. If someone hands me words, I will take them and put them into a good melody. I'm a melody guy. I like the sounds that come around it. But when
Gotcha.
it comes to pulling the words out and writing them, that's the hard. I'm terrible at that.
Okay.
I'm awful at that.
Fair enough.
I never get words. That's why I like to. I would rather have a ghostwriter. Just someone just what's the guy's name that writes Elton John's lyrics?
Bernie Taupin.
Huh?
Bernie Taupin?
Yes. That's a genius setup. That's just, you have a phenomenal player and vocalist and whatever, and then you have someone who's able to be great with words. That's something
Yeah, Elton John wrote a song about peaches once, and that was the last song he ever wrote the words to.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
That's funny. Now all I can think about that song is Peaches from what is it? The,
United States,
you know,
President
President
of
of
United
America.
States of America. Yep.
Yep.
Peaches come from America. Great album, actually.
All right. So, yeah, as you said, you play instruments. So this is kind of like a two-parter. I'll ask you the first part. What instruments do you play?
Guitar. I'll do the instruments that I played in the band. Guitar, keys, and drums.
And to just tell you, because I didn't really give more of an introduction, Nicky is a part of a band called Oogeewawa, which you can find on Spotify, on Apple Music, pretty much most of the streaming sites. So we'll have that in the show notes as well.
Yep.
And he also he plays covers under the name Fat Nicky and the Snacks, and he
True statement, sticking to it.
so he'll either play a solo gig or he'll have there's up to 3 other artists that you have that will join you once in a while.
One of them looks just like you, Kyle.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's right, the bassist.
Fat guy
Oh
with a
my
beard?
goodness.
Ryan's beard is just as nice, you know,
oh, wow.
nice clean head on the top and a
Wow.
big old beard on the burly beard on the bottom.
That's so true. Oh my gosh. All right. That being said, now in the band in Oogeewawa, you play what?
I right now, so I played drums for about like eight years in the band. That was I started off as a drummer there, and then I moved to keys. And now I play acoustic. Now I'm playing the acoustic for it, and and vocals. I'm one of the main, another main vocal. If Jesse's the main vocal, then
Right.
I'm like one of the other mains as
Cool.
well as JP.
But
So when you moved, was there a reasoning behind the move? Was it?
It was members were in and out at the time, so I think we needed something to be filled, and it was easier to find a drummer and for me to move to the keys than it was. And then ever since then, I would play the keys, and then because we're a hip hop reggae, so there was I would jump in as a hype man with Jesse. So like once that started happening, that stage performance started going in, they kind of like ran with that.
well,
Gotcha.
yeah, I would agree. I think part of that is the fact that your rapport with Jesse on stage.
Yeah.
Jesse Lee, I should say, because that's his name that goes by. Jesse
He goes
Lee.
by
on-
Oogie Lee.
He go. Oh, that's right. It was
Yeah, he goes
Oogie
Oogie
Lee.
Lee.
Sorry,
It's
Oogie Lee.
hip-hop.
So, which maybe someone we should speak with, but they have a good rapport on stage, and it definitely changes the performance because of their rapport on stage. And I think that's another reason why you guys subconsciously did it, because you knew it was.
Yeah,
right.
it definitely worked out well.
So with that, your cover band, you play multiple, or you just play one instrument?
I just stick with the acoustic. Ryan and Nick and Teeth are just killer musicians, so it's easier for me to just be the rhythm. And I want to be rhythm guitar, vocals, done. I'm not gonna solo nothing. I got Nick shredding. Ryan is a freaking virtuoso. Frickin's okay to say. I can say frickin', right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Frickin'.
No, that's fine.
I sound like
So you're the Jack Black of the group.
pretty much. Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
It's too funny. Yep.
Yeah,
I know.
Be my Kyle Gass.
I cannot play the guitar. We've been over that. I've got 5 of them sitting back there. I can't play one of them.
That's too. Yes, it's true. We talk about that. That's too funny. Now I know when you started playing certain instruments, but so talk about when you first started playing an instrument, and then I would say talk about when you picked up the guitar, because that seems to be your main right now, because you're kind of writing and doing cover stuff. So your first instrument you started playing what?
Trumpet.
Was trumpet.
Played trumpet in 5th grade. Ripped up my lips, and then we went to clarinet.
Right, because
then
he
we
was
did
he was really good on the recorder, and I told him, I'm like, try the clarinet. You may like it, and he killed it. He was really good with
Yeah,
the
the clarinet was good. I actually enjoyed playing it. The best thing about playing the clarinet and things like that is I learned how to read music. That was the best. That was the number one thing I suggest any musician learn how to read music. It's worth it.
yeah.
Forget about the theory. Just read it like a book. But that was the start. And but I always wanted to play drums.
Right.
Always wanted to play drums. So, I never was allowed to get a drum set, and of course they get me the stupid, jinky drum set you know. And I was like, well, it's your fault because now I'm about to hit the hell out of it, you know. And then I guess one day, you know, before YouTube and all this way of learning how to play the guitar, I was tablatures. It was putting your fingers in and trying to read this stupid thing with numbers. I'm like, I'm gonna figure out a D chord, and that's it. That's how I learned how to play.
Yep.
You know, and I just, you know, figured I'd just pick that up.
How long have you been playing guitar now?
I've been playing since I was 16, but I don't show that I play. So like, you know, I'm turning 40 in a month and a half. I don't look like, you know, I'm a good chord player. I can play the chords, you know.
That's funny.
Like when people are like, oh, you play for that long, you're probably really good. Hold on a second.
But he does play keys very well when he plays with the band. You know, he may not feel he does, but he does play it well.
I like playing key, yeah. It's you know, the reggae bubble.
Yep.
But all around, you know, you're valuable because you can pick up a guitar, you can pick up the drums, you can go to the keys if you needed to. Like you're able to hop around.
Oh yeah, I definitely.
Yeah. Not and that's nothing against the other guys. I'm just saying, like,
of course not.
Yeah, that it's just the ability.
I play with both bands. Everyone's a great musician and solid at what they're doing.
Right.
You know, but it's good to like if we need to fill it in. I'm like, oh, all right, let's figure it out. Frank Stark actually is very much like that too. Not on the drums, but like Frank Stark's one of the members of Oogeewawa, and he plays guitar and he plays the trombone and the keys, and he's one of those guys where like just throw him in, he'll figure it out, and he figures it out.
What's the other band that he's in or was in?
Samurai Pizza Cats.
That's the name of the band.
That's the name again. Yeah.
Nice.
So
Do
like
you have a preference of instrument?
Ska reggae, they're great.
Nice.
Loud.
Do you have a preference of instrument?
What?
Like if you were to form a new band like that, you know, just you, what would you prefer playing in a band? Do you have a preference?
Man, it's either the drums or the guitar or the acoustic.
Okay.
I love the acoustic. It's just like it's
I
fun.
do too.
It's rhythmic. I'm a drummer, so like I want to play something with rhythm. You know, like I love the bass, and I could hold the fort down on some low end a little bit, but like, you know, but I think I like the bass more because there's rhythm to it. Anything has rhythm to it. Like I'm not one of those like to bend notes and solo. I'd rather just like funk out and get crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, like that's what I like. So
Gotcha.
the acoustic would be the acoustic or the guitar. I would, you know, or the drums. The acoustic or the drums. Electric is such a different animal. So like I'm still very. I have a nice Epiphone hollow body which I love, but I get nervous playing that live because it's just a completely different way of strumming. So it's like I don't sound like a scooch
Though, but I have to say though, there was one gig that I was at when you were, and this was like earlier days of Oogeewawa, where you guys jammed out for a good amount of time, and because you knew each other so well musically and rhythmically and all that stuff.
It was 200 plus shows a year.
No, but I'm just saying, like, even it was even in your earlier days with the band, you guys still were able to jam out so well.
Yeah.
And for those people that don't listen to bands that jam out, like, we're still interested because of how good they were at playing off of each other. So
Yeah.
So
we had, we're on the road for most of the year, so like that's all we're doing is playing, and then obviously after a while you just get more comfortable, like, oh, we know what we're doing here, we know what we're going to do here, things like that.
All right. So the next question, I think you kind of asked it in a different way, Kyle, was what made you choose your instrument voice? Did you chose trumpet, or did someone tell you to choose? I forget.
I don't remember. I feel like it's because like it was me and like we're in 5th grade. Oh, everyone's playing trumpet. That's cool. I'm in. Let's do it. But then I got braces, and it was just murder on my lips.
Yeah.
So
brass and braces do not go well together.
No. Especially the trumpet embouchure, because it's maybe if
Smallest
it was like
mouthpiece smashing against your face.
Oh, it's the worst. If I had like a tuba or a baritone or something, maybe it would have been that not nearly as crazy, but
yeah.
But then and then we just moved to clarinet. I have no idea. I don't remember exactly how it was, but it was a good choice.
No, it was
definitely worth doing it. That's how I was able to read music faster than normal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Oh, so okay. So let's do this. So, what kind of music do you perform? So, what do you prefer to perform? Like, you're into reggae, hip hop, but like, is that what you prefer to perform? Like, you're good at it, but is there something that you rather do?
I like a lot of what I do. Both of them. I love the reggae style. Our reggae style is a little bit off. Is a little bit left of center. I wouldn't say we're right in the dub reggae,
right?
Which I enjoy that dubby, revolution, like, bounce type of vibe when it comes to the reggae music. But then I like that jam, funk, soul, dance like type of stuff. Oh,
Well,
brother, check it out. No,
so-
I was
so-
saying that song. What was that?
But to that point, you wrote a song called
Everything Happens in the Summer.
Right, and that has a very
That was because we years of writing reggae. I was like, all right, I want to do one reggae song a little different and a little bit more on the islandy type of sense. And even that is still like, there's a pocket that I was a little off of. I wasn't inside that actual reggae pocket, but I wanted to be a little bit on the slower end of the pocket.
so. Let's play a little clip of that.
Sure.
Cool. Recorded this in COVID. In my kitchen.
Everything happens in the summer.
The old school
Smashing
mic'd up
waves
guitar
with my
and
sisters and my
mic to the band.
brothers. Feel the sand underneath one another, and at night we sit at fires with our lover. Yeah. 'Cause everything happens in the summer. 'Cause everything happens in the summer.
Yeah. So and that sounds great for
We
a
feel
bathroom.
A kitchen
It
recording.
was in a kitchen.
Yeah.
I had to use MIDI drums. I didn't get to because I didn't have a kit at the time
Right,
or means of setting up one. So then I dived in late nights,
Yeah.
tequila. I was by myself. I was alone in my apartment.
And that's
Yeah.
all you though.
That's all me except for some of the lead guitars. My friend Nick Donnelly.
Who we'll talk to at some point.
Yeah,
There's a reason.
definitely you want to get him in here. But he's my go-to when it comes to guitars, leads. He's the best guitar player I've ever jammed with, and he's
Nice.
tasteful and he knows what he's doing. He's the one that knows really well theory, but he likes to be out of the pocket with theory. He likes to be like,
Right.
you're supposed to do it this way, but no, this sounds good this way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but so he's usually when I do songs, if I do them all, I did everything on my own. And he actually mastered that one a little bit for me.
Yeah.
He did a little more production on
But
that.
still, I mean, the fact that it's just pretty much you and like one other person.
Yeah.
For what it is, that's
pretty
that's
much.
awesome.
That's,
Yeah.
I was right in the kitchen during COVID, lockdown. We're like, all right, well, what am I gonna do? Gonna figure this out.
Roast in the oven, ready to go.
Yeah, it's a lot of dominoes. 40 pounds worth of dominoes. I'll tell you that. I'm working it out.
All right. So to move on, then, what kind of music do you enjoy listening to?
Indie rock. Yeah, weird.
Really?
I'm a huge indie like those. For some reason, every time they go to all these choruses, some of these choruses are so big and great, and I don't know. I love indie rock, folk music too, but I like new folk more than what can I say? Who did Rivers and Roads? The Rivers and Roads. That was I can't remember that name of the band. There's a few folk bands I like, but the new ones, like the Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros type of you ever see that video? Was it
Rivers and Roads, The Head and the Heart.
The Head and the Heart? Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Those guys are great. So I like things like that. So in that genre, so I like that type of folk, and as well as I'm a Strokes fan, so I love good indie rock, just guitars and just I don't know. Every time they have these chord progressions they do so well, and I just love them. They tickle my ear nice.
That's awesome. So, okay. So you enjoy listening to that music.
Yeah.
This may sound like a similar question, but it's actually a little bit different. What is your go-to genre of music to listen to? So
listen to?
So you enjoy listening to indie rock, but what is your genre? What do you see yourself going to if you're mellowing out, you need to chill out? Is there a genre that you go to outside of indie rock? Or is it still indie rock?
I don't know. I love Dave Matthews.
See, did you hear that, Kyle? He loves Dave Matthews.
Go ahead, let it be. I'll take it. But I do, when he did that, when that COVID was going on, and he did that live from his
I
concert.
love that. That was amazing.
That was
I love
that was awesome.
It was.
So no matter how much you could boo, you're still gonna there's gonna be something about Dave Matthews you like, you know?
Yep.
And that was that calmed me down. I was going through a really rough time at that time.
Yeah.
And that calmed me down. That was just a nice little like, oh, thank God this guy did this, you know? And like, so I enjoy, I enjoyed that. Man, if I had to like pick one I go to, I mean, I keep saying this. I'm a hip hop fan. I love hip hop. So I just lost me. I'm gonna hear myself in my ears. That's all right. You can still hear me though.
Hang on one second.
I got the little buzz came back for a couple seconds and it went away.
You don't hear yourself?
No.
You hear yourself now?
Hello. Yes.
That's so weird.
Why?
I think that's where that buzz was coming from.
That could be an iffy splitter. It's not all the way in.
But when I did, you lost yourself. Now
I'm here.
That's really weird. Hold on.
Chip.
Does that work?
Now, it just went to my left side.
Okay, so I mean, I'm okay. Can you hear?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm definitely
Okay.
my left anyway. So
It's
I mean, it's on my right side. So
it's
I
weird
don't
because
care about
the way
that.
he's talking now, I hear him on my left and I hear myself on my right. Like it's like we're automatically paired.
Yeah, I don't understand how that's working. Yeah,
But whatever, I can hear. That's cool.
doesn't matter. As long as I hear myself on this
Yeah.
ear, this one's just for show.
Yeah. So a little tidbit, which I don't know how often you talk about this, but I think it's interesting, especially as a musician and someone who's mixing and recording and all that stuff. Nicky lost his hearing in
Left ear.
his left ear. Now we all talk about how exercise is very healthy for you and very important. How did you lose your hearing?
I was exercising. I was on the treadmill. I was going for a nice little jog, trying to lose some weight. And the world's like, not today. You're going to lose more than just weight.
And the whole weird thing about this is I read something about a few months, like maybe a year ago, and apparently it's not an uncommon thing. And it's so weird. And I think even the doctor told you it's not that uncommon.
No, it's not as uncommon as you would think it is. You know, a movie just came out too a couple of years, maybe like 2 years ago, about this drummer who was going deaf. What's the actor? I think he's I don't know what's his name, but he's really good at it. But that's about another drummer who lost his hearing and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, it's just
But it's a thing.
I just want to share that out because you did that song during COVID, and you lost your hearing in your left ear years ago. So that's the other interesting part. Yeah, the interesting part to it is that you did that all not hearing a lot of it in your left ear. So you're panning everything and you're mastering. You know, you're relying on a lot of other things to do that.
But there's that's why it's good to have other people to listen to. There are things that
Of course.
sometimes I miss.
Yeah.
Like I don't hear. I'm like, oh, I didn't notice that a slight clip sound that someone like you or Kyle would hear. I can miss, but then as soon as it's there, I hear it. You know, it's
So-
I notice it. Those little things I can miss.
So this is what makes, I don't know if you're thinking the same thing I am, Kyle, but Amber Rubarth. Mm-hmm. Could you imagine him trying to listen to that? He would lose half of that music.
Yeah.
There's a recording technique called binaural. I don't know if you've heard of it.
It's like surround sound recording.
Well,
type
they
of thing?
basically put two mics where your ears would, and then they have to record the song all in one shot. You can't punch in. We were having we've talked about this in previous episodes, but Amber was the first artist that we featured and we talked about, and that's what kind of like got us to doing this. So Kyle can give a little more background of the binaural.
Yeah. So basically, what it does is because the microphones are set like where your ears are, you have like the delay from the stuff that your right ear would hear coming from your left ear, so you can actually hear where people are standing. So
Really?
this album starts, so it starts where the cello was panned hard left. So I knew that the cello was right here, and the violin was over here on the
Really?
right.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then Amber started playing the guitar, and she was right here. And then the percussion came in; they were right over here, but they weren't as far over as the cello and the violin. So I knew it was cello, Amber, percussion, violin. Knew exactly where they were staying just by hearing how the recording was produced.
And
And it was only two speakers.
you would lose the whole
Only
left
two
side.
speakers. Yeah, you would lose everything.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Just
Yep.
to talk about.
You're actually in this ear. I can't hear you, but I can feel it. I have all feeling in the ear.
Right.
It's like I feel the vibration. It's weird.
What role does music? Well, we kind of got an idea, but if you can go deeper with this, what role does music play in your life? So outside of like the gigs and all that stuff, is there more to it to you?
It's a therapy.
Yeah.
Performing, it's a therapy. It's a way. It's, like I gotta have a really crappy day and go through it, and honestly, to the point where I don't even want to play. But the moment I start playing, it's like, okay, for that however long, whether it's an hour, a half hour, 2 hour set, I don't think I can worry about, and I'm having a good time. So it's a good way. It's a good stress relief in a sense. You don't.
Is your therapy playing, or is it listening, or is it both?
More playing than listening, but I'd say a little bit of both though. Definitely more playing.
So, Kyle, we've spoken
I'm an
about
attention whore. I love attention. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like I don't know. I want to be on stage. I was like, look at me.
So we've had this conversation in previous episodes how we all feel that music is a therapy for us. It's what we use. So Kyle mentioned multiple times, and Rachel, who we've interviewed previously, talked about how their instrument is like their friend. Like Kyle, go through something you practice. You say, what do you say to your instrument?
I thank my instrument every time I perform or practice. The last thing I do is I thank it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because
in fact,
Yeah.
I played at a church. I played at a church for a long time, and my last Sunday, I not only thanked it, but I said goodbye to it
Yeah.
because I knew I was never going to play it again.
What do you play?
Organ. Piano.
Okay. Yeah. I remember actually having that conversation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never even thought about doing it that way. That's such
But
a good idea.
it just goes to show you how your instrument, whether it's voice or whatever it is, because like I catch myself singing when I'm having a bad day because it makes me feel better. I don't have my saxophone out, so because I see myself more as a singer, as an instrumentalist,
Yeah.
I catch myself singing, and I there are times that I never thought about it, but since we've had these conversations, I'm like, it makes so much more sense because like I get in my car, the day was a bad day, and I throw on a song that I can sing, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, and I'm singing because it relieves that whatever you've dealt with all day long.
Of course.
That makes absolute sense.
It's a way to not think about some things. No matter what, I'm done playing. I'm going to start thinking about the shit that was bothering me earlier, but maybe not as hard as prior, to play. Maybe it's a little less, but it's, it's a good escape for a small amount of time.
We have to put an explicit on this one.
We do. Someone has a body bout.
Did I curse?
Yeah, it's fine. It's
What'd I
not a big deal.
He said the brown word.
Oh, man.
It's funny. It's fine. It's not a big deal. It was just funny. It was really funny. No, it's good.
I didn't
It's
even
funny.
catch that one. Sometimes I do it. Like, I did really good trying not to. And I like keeping this as G-rated as possible.
So the other thing I
Surprised
want
the F-bird didn't pop out yet. Well, that's good. Damn.
before we
Two New York Italians and the F word hasn't popped out once.
well,
That's a comma back where you guys are.
Before we go into the rapid fire questions that Kyle's going to shoot off at you, I do want to mention that back on March 20th, you had another cover came out.
Yeah.
And tell people about that.
I took another stab at recording full instruments and playing them all, except for obviously the lead guitars, like I said. And I recorded drums, vocals, bass. I played bass, acoustic, keys, everything except for lead guitars and vocals. And I recorded, mixed, mastered, tried to do it all on my own. Took a stab at it, because this stuff costs money. I can't afford studio time. I can't afford those things right now.
Yeah.
So, and I have friends that would definitely put out their time for me, but on the same end, I don't always feel right taking all that because it's like I want you to get your money for your time. So I was like, I have the means. Let's figure it out, and I make sure I kept it with what I had. So I use UAD, so I use all that comes with UAD, and then whatever came with Logic. All the compressors and everything like that. And I stayed in the box. I was like, I'm just going to use what they give me. I couldn't afford to buy any more plugins. Which at one point I'm going to, because I could see now I'm now having an understanding of what all these things do, these different type
Right.
of compressors and limiters and all these things like that.
Yep.
Logic is a perfect staple for that. Like,
Yeah.
or is that the right word?
Yeah, no, yeah, that's good.
To build from. So I was, I went and I wanted to take a stab at recording, but I also didn't want to waste time trying to write a song.
Right.
Because it takes me a little longer than normal. So I was like, I've been covering Grease. This Grease is the Word by Barry Gibb, which nobody knows, but Barry Gibb wrote that song. A lot of people think it's somebody else or whatever.
none of them
they don't realize also Frankie Valli was the one that sang it.
Right.
And it was Barry Gibb.
But nobody in the Bee Gees knows how to read or write music.
Is that true?
There's a whole
Barry
thing.
Gibb, that was a great song. I mean, he writes a lot. I bet you he's probably the. I mean,
He probably has
He's
a
got to have some type of knowledge of that.
But there was a whole big thing about it because NSYNC was on Larry King, and he turned around to them and he's like, "All right, sing us out," and they couldn't do it, so they had to cut out quickly because they're more of a like a generated group and they have to practice. Whereas like they had the Bee Gees on and he was like, "All right, sing us out." The Bee Gees right away they were like ready to sing 3-part harmony. So there's a whole big thing about how musically they wrote a lot of their songs, but they didn't know theory. They didn't know anything about it. I don't even know if they read music.
Guitar players don't know how to read music. A lot of guitar players, how great they are, they probably can't find a D bar chord.
Right.
They don't know where it is on the neck.
Right.
It's just some of them just and a lot of them a lot of metal guitar players are like that. They just play good riffs and they move a lot and they know how to run the scales. But do they know if they're in the key in the end? Probably not. Not all of them, but I would say, there are a majority that
right.
Yep.
And
that's what frustrates me about the guitar is like I know all that theory and like I don't have that facility on the guitar and it drives me nuts.
Yeah.
And I see all these people who don't have the theory that I have, like playing like ridiculous stuff, and I'm just like, well,
from what I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Stevie Ray Vaughan didn't know how to read music at all. I think he just played by ear. He was a strictly ear guitar player, and I was like, well, I'm like, yeah, anybody. And I hate to use this as an example, but it is this good example. Like you could easily play by ear. Stevie Wonder, obviously can't. Obviously can't read music.
Well,
Ray
no,
Charles
there's real Braille music that was created by Ray Charles.
But they didn't.
No,
grow up
I'm
reading
teasing. I'm
music.
joking.
Ray Charles, they had a feel. They knew how to play, and their ear was just wonderful.
Charlie Parker, all he did was go out and listen behind the bars as they played, learn the licks, and then modify
Muddy
them.
Waters too.
Yeah, Muddy Waters.
He didn't know anything about it. He's like, I just want to make it sound good.
Yeah.
And you know what? He did, and it sounded awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
But yeah, so as I was saying, I cover. I sent out a cover of Grease. Then through DistroKid, you're able to write covers now. You could re-record covers and put it in there, and you don't have to worry about paying for any type of publishing rights and things like that. So I took a stab at it, and I spent hours and hours and hours of frustrating days. Like I did drums. It took me like 2 weeks, 10-hour days. Then I had to redo them. And JP is the guitar player of Oogeewawa, and he has Ride Waves Productions, where he's produces and records and has a studio. And he's like, just come do my drums. Just come do drums at the drum room. Come, you let me use it. I'm another guy, one of my closest friends, of course. I was like, all right, I'm going to. I went to the drums. Everything that took me to do, we did in 20 minutes. It took me 2 weeks. 2 weeks. We did in 20 minutes. And then but he gave me the stems, and I went and just, I had to I recorded it. I mixed them. I compressed them. I did whatever. Sound like junk. I went back. Sound like junk. So I just kept doing it. And then finally, I was like, I'm gonna watch the video and see what they say. And I got it right. I got them in there. For what I had, the means that I had, I'm pretty proud of the product that I was able to put out.
No, it's a good song, and as always, we're gonna link stuff in the show notes so people will be able to get to your Spotify and your Apple Music.
Yeah,
so
it's all over there now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And if you're cool with it, we're gonna play some 30 or 40 seconds of it at the end of the podcast. All right, so we'll end out with that, so you guys can hear a little bit of that. Cool. We are ready for rapid fire questions.
You didn't send me the rapid fire questions.
No, of course not.
No, because they're supposed to be. So
you need to answer them through this. You need to answer them.
Yeah, can I speak through here?
Sure, yeah. So the idea behind the rapid fire is that you don't think, you just respond.
Yeah. So don't do what I did.
You can certainly. Well, yeah. Don't do a Chris did, because it took him like an hour and a half to answer these 7 questions.
Okay.
So they're pretty simple questions. So favorite song?
One Way Trigger.
Okay. Ooh, wow. Good. Favorite band?
Strokes.
Favorite composer? Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna
we're
say
going
Mick
deep on this
Donnelly.
one.
Okay,
He's a-
that's,
he's a-
yeah,
he's a
fair
composer.
enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Favorite album?
Oh my God. Turnstiles.
Billy Joel Turnstiles?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's an incredible album.
Yeah, it sure is. Guilty pleasure song and artist.
I can't
Number mine is Carly Rae Jepsen, Hanson and Bob. So don't be afraid. It's okay.
Guilty pleasure.
Rebecca Black Friday. Go ahead.
I don't know. I couldn't even think of a guilty pleasure. I've tried. There's probably many. I don't know.
All right, we'll come back to
Yeah,
it.
I have to come back to that one.
Most memorable concert that you have attended, not performed in.
Wow. Dave Matthews Band, Giant Stadium, 2002. Oh, dude, that was when. Can I say the story here?
Sure,
real quick?
yeah.
I'll make it quick.
Yeah.
That was when it's at Giant Stadium. The whole show. I was with my sister, actually. Our sister. We are brothers.
Wait. You guys are
Wait,
brothers?
we had no
Yeah.
idea.
It's weird.
Whoa.
But I met him today. But we're at the show. It's me and a bunch of other friends. Actually, Mike Lipiser, I know you don't know him, Kyle, but yeah. So we're there, and he starts playing two-step, and a clap of thunder just rocks the stadium, and we're just, wow! Everyone's freaking out. I'm dying. This is the best thing I've ever seen. It's a effing hailstorm. It's insane, and he just plays right through it. And then we leave, and we're walking. It's just me and Mike. I don't know where everybody else went to. We're walking to the car. Clap of lightning just came down 2 feet, and Mike jumps right into my arms. like literally just. I'm scared too, but I'm not gonna jump on him. I'm gonna crush him. So he jumped on me. But that was probably the most memorable show. Because that was the last song.
Yeah.
That was the last song, and you just hear the beginning and just clap. And you're like, what is going on? And the crowd's roaring, and you're just, this is great. I'm punching people with excitement. That was a good time.
That's great.
Most memorable personal performance.
Oh. Personal, like with one of the bands?
No, just in general.
In general.
You
performing.
bands, whatever. As long as you were on stage performing something.
There was 2 times.
Okay.
One was the first time Oogie opened for Sublime at Rome at the Paramount. It was 1,600 people. It was awesome.
That was impressive. That
a
was
great time.
impressive. Yeah.
You know, I know we played to bigger crowds from then, but that was the first time it ever happened. Now,
And who you opened for? Who?
Sublime at Rome. Now, I'm not the biggest Sublime at Rome fan. I'm not saying they're bad. They're good. I'm more, I'm a Sublime fan, but whatever. It is what it is. But that show was their first time playing to that many people, and it was just.
It was a great show, and
ridiculous.
That was the show where they were originally only going to play a certain amount of time.
Yeah, they
added
us. They made us play an hour. We opened right for them. They gave us an hour. It was great.
Because people were calling in asking for tickets, and then they found out they were only playing for a half hour and wanted them to play longer.
Wow.
That's how much of a following they had prior to going there.
I remember reading about that on Twitter or Facebook.
Yeah.
or something.
That was a great time.
Yeah, that was
probably one of my favorite. I'll say one of my favorite Oogie shows. Number 2 has to be Fat Nicky Loiodice just opened up for Rick Springfield, and that was the first time as this band played the Paramount, and that was first time for me. Like I'm now in the front of it really, and that excitement.
That's awesome.
And that was
at the Paramount too?
I was at the Paramount. Yeah, on the main stage. It was good.
Nice.
We probably had 800 people in front of us, 900.
Wow.
It wasn't as big as that Oogie show, but it was a different entity. It was looking over, like 2 of my best friends from elementary school is to the left, and then your doppelganger was to my right.
Now,
so that was a great time.
the cool thing is the Paramount has a little, even though we're not sponsored by them, but a little plug for them. They have a little place called the Spotlight.
Yeah.
And so
we could plug on my work. I've been working there for 10 years.
That's fair.
We can plug
Let's
plug
plug
that
Paramount.
place.
So
it's like home to me.
We'll link them.
Yeah. Any listeners out there that are from the Long Island area, or if you happen to visit Long Island and you're going to the Paramount for whatever,
That's the best venue on the island.
yeah. But to give you a little bit, the Spotlight, you play there
I play
fairly
there
often.
Yeah. We play at least like once a month.
Yeah. So
It's a venue, a bar, also an art gallery too. They have they hold different artwork up in the place. They're actually really great with that. Like they do a lot of it's the coolest bar in in Huntington. You know, like they really kept that city feel in there. You know.
Yeah. And for the old people that are like me, that was the old IMAC Theater, the Intermedia Arts Center.
Yeah, it was the old
so
IMAC
I remember
Theater.
seeing tons of shows at the IMAC Theater. I don't think I ever saw a show at the Paramount.
It's worth seeing. It's it really is the best venue.
If you ever travel back to Long Island and there's a good group, we'll go.
If you go to Spotlight, though, I'm not going to tell you, like, what, but I'm going to say, go use the bathroom in Spotlight. That's all I got to say. Try the bathroom.
Listeners, go
And
use the
good
bathroom
luck.
in Spotlight.
Good luck. You know, that's all I can say about it.
Is the Mexican place still across the street, that Oaxaca Mexican place?
Oaxaca is not there no more, no.
No. All
That's gone now.
So I used to work at the hardware store in East Northport, and the owner's son was good friends with the guy that owned Oaxaca.
Yeah, I
And
don't think it's there no more. I think it's gone. It's not
man.
directly across the street, though.
It was like,
It's like a block
down
up.
two.
Yeah, I think it's gone. Yeah.
That's too bad. It was a good place.
Yeah. I know. I'm pretty sure last time I checked, I think I was gone.
Right. Fair enough.
All right.
It's sad because now that I moved off the island, all the restaurants that I had frequented have now closed. It's like I was keeping them in business or something. I don't know.
It's too funny. I remember you talking
my
about
pizza
that.
place, two pizza places, a deli, and the pizza place tried to reopen and they closed
You
again.
moved it like, what? Kyle, no.
That's right.
Where's our business?
Are you hungry?
So I have a couple more questions because
Wait. Guilty pleasure. Anything?
Oh, guilty pleasure.
Go back.
Oh God! We have to go back to guilty pleasure.
Say like Britney Spears or Taylor
no,
Swift.
there is
or...
one, and I was just guilty pleasure. Oh man, I don't know. I mean, could guilty pleasure being that like I'm a diehard Christmas music fan.
Okay.
Like, I love
Hey,
all
sure,
Christmas
yeah.
music. It does not bother me. I will Feliz
Okay.
Navidad. I'll listen to 1,000 times throughout the year if we need.
Well, okay, so that's good that you bring that up. Then, just before you go into your questions, you're also featured on 2 Christmas songs that you did with Nick Donnelly, correct?
Yeah.
That'll be linked as well. That's in Spotify. One's called you actually
The
cover
Christmas song, and then one is called the
you did a cover and then you did an original.
yeah we I think they're both called a Christmas song.
No, one is called the Christmas song, the other is called the Christmas Carol.
The Christmas Carol. There you go.
Is the Christmas
Carol is what we wrote. The Christmas song is the what's his name version.
Vince Guaraldi.
Yeah.
Who?
Vince Guaraldi?
No, it was
The same thing
singer
that,
though.
No, Nat King Cole sang it.
Nat King Cole.
Yeah,
Nat
but
King
that
Cole
yeah.
version of it, yeah.
Can you play the other one? Mm-hmm. Because I know you know that.
I wish you so many, many more Merry Christmas time. Let's get the snow ready, 'cause Santa's on his way tonight. I wish you so many, many more Merry Christmas time. Make sure your kids are tucked in tight, 'cause Santa's coming down tonight. We know he's making his list while the kids are making their
Yeah.
wishes now.
That's
We
a
have
fun one.
another one that we so Nick's very much on more on the writing end of it, and I'm I add other parts. But we worked on another one that he has written. We were supposed to have it last Christmas, but we when you're writing something and something's not sounding right and whatever, and then you realize maybe it's just because it's not the right vocals. Well, we have a female vocalist that's going to be on it. I cannot tell you who she is. I will not be able to disclose that information. But this next song that's coming out in this year, we'll have another Christmas. We're trying to write a bunch of new Christmas songs like throughout the years,
Sweet.
like one a year. So this is the next
Cool.
one that's going to be coming
when
out.
it comes out, we can always talk about it, share it.
Yeah,
Out.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome. All right. You had more questions, you said, Kyle.
Yeah, just a couple questions. Like, so when you're coming up with your covers, how do you pick the song that you want to cover? Is it something that you enjoy, or is it something that just you listen to something and it says, I can do some sort of a reggae thing off of this? How do you choose that?
Yes, sometimes it's like I can do a reggae thing off this or some song that I like, but a lot of it's like also the information I get from others. Like Atif is the drummer of Fat Nicky and the Snacks, and he always has a good list of songs to pick. And usually I argue, I'm like, that's terrible, it's not going to work. But then we play it, and it's like, oh, you're right, that sounds really good. So a lot of it's like we're just starting. It's just hearing those left to center songs that I haven't heard. There's a lot of it's hard like to pick the right covers. Like you want to be able to attract the crowd and keep them in there, but you also want to turn their heads just a slight bit because it's like I don't want you to see that I'm going to be playing Sweet Caroline the entire time. I'm probably not going to play that. The best thing about Fat Nicky Sax is the best way I can explain it. You're on the road. You're driving somewhere. You go to like a little truck stop, and you're looking around. You see this candy that you haven't had, and I'm like, oh my God, they have this candy here. I've never seen one of these. I haven't seen this in years. That's the type of music we play. The songs you forgot about that you loved. You know, that's why those snacks you find. We find those songs. I'm like, oh.
I found Fruit Stripe gum the other day.
Get out.
With that little zebra on it.
Yeah, it's the best. It'll probably last you for 15 seconds, but it was the best 15 seconds. You know?
That's great.
If you could headline for or open for any band or co-headline or whatever, what band would it be?
Which genre? The genre I
You
play
tell me.
in?
Doesn't matter.
Dave Matthews
If you-
Band,
if-
just to piss you off.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
No, I'm joking.
Wear
I'm
a
joking.
Kyle costume for that show. So it looks like you open for him.
Do you have?
Well, so in Oogeewawa, I've always wanted to open for Revolution, which luckily this summer we are. We're open.
Cool.
We're not direct support, but we're on the couple bands before, and we're on the same
Is
bill.
this the
Great South Bay?
So Great South Bay Music Festival is a big festival that's put on Long Island.
Yeah.
By the Great South Bay, and it's in what town is it again?
It's the Great South.
It is-
It's
is
like
it- is that-
Patchogue, but it's
yeah,
called Great South Bay. Is like this big field, like by the band shell. There's a
Okay,
band shell
so,
down there, and that's
yeah.
where the whole.
I didn't realize-
That's where they pull out. Yeah.
So you guys have played there a few years.
Times, yeah. But this is the first time we're playing Revolution. Not unfortunately, but I'm not gonna be able to see them. I'm gonna play the show and I have to leave because my girlfriend's niece and nephew's christenings in New Orleans. Which don't get me wrong, I'm all about going to New Orleans too. So I'm sorry, Revolution. I'll see you again, but I'm gonna go hang out with the fam. But that's that one. If I had to pick one, let's say with Fat Nicky and the Snacks. Oh man. I don't know.
You mean Rick Springfield wasn't it?
Yes. I couldn't even. The Strokes. I don't know. I couldn't even think of it. I want to. I just want to play.
Fair enough.
I couldn't even pick a band. When it came to the reggae scene, we were able to meet some of those people and get to do that. When it comes to at this point, I'm not sure yet, and I wouldn't even know.
Is there any venue that you want to play that you haven't played yet?
Jones Beach. I would love to play. We haven't played any big arenas. I like to play that one.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I like to play Jones Beach. Just we play pretty much almost everywhere on the island as Oogie, and it would be nice to just be okay, I didn't play the Jones Beach stage. I played the outside, whatever. I want to be on that stage.
Yeah.
And you did that for before opening Jimmy Buffett, right?
That that was for Soja and 311.
Oh, okay. I thought it was.
Yeah. So.
Cool, nice.
And we got to open for Slightly Stupid and 311 before. We've been on the same stage as them, which is really great. So we've got some really, really awesome shows in the past.
Awesome.
I haven't had the opportunity to see some of your Fat Nicky and the Snack shows recently. Are you doing any original music at all, or is it all covers? And with your guys,
it's all covers right now. I would like to infiltrate some originals, but I don't have originals ready to.
Right.
I'm ready to just go out and put out yet. I haven't. All these originals that I have written and recorded, I'm working on. I've never played them live. It's just literally just for the.
Right.
Privacy of my home. I sit in my boxers and I play some music. Picture that, audience.
that's too funny.
Listeners.
Gotta go back. Guilty pleasure song artist. Come on.
Oh, God.
You are relentless.
I am
Guilty
relentless.
pleasures.
Wow.
Is Justin Timberlake a guilty pleasure? I
It
love
could be.
Justin
Oh, sure he
Timberlake.
is.
It could be.
Sure.
I feel like it is. It isn't though. He's that album Justified. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
No, I mean, well, we were talking Kyle was talking about Taylor Swift. It's kind of a guilty pleasure.
No, she's obviously they're doing something right.
Right.
Yeah.
What would be something that no one I couldn't even think of 'cause nowadays anything's acceptable.
Yeah. Not to Chris apparently or CJ apparently. I mean he's
What?
What are you talking about? What?
Well, apparently Justin Timberlake wasn't good enough. You're going to try and get another guilty pleasure. out
No.
of him.
He said. I think Justin Timberlake fits. I
that
said it does.
fit? I don't know. I
I
mean,
think it
he's-
fits.
Listen,
Because
if you think it fits, it fits.
I don't think.
I still love all the Ace of Base music.
There you go.
So, how about that? Okay.
That's a good
That's a good one. That's totally a good one.
You know?
Well, we were talking a few episodes back about how there's music back in the day from the 90s that we love, and it's like
Yeah.
it was the ones that were popular on the radio at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, funny, I was listening to Soundgarden earlier, Black Hole Sun. I mean, come on.
Come
You know?
on. That's classic.
No, but I'm just saying, like, it's just
Crazy how that's
yeah,
classic. but still.
it's great. Yeah, it's crazy. So we talked about Oogeewawa playing in the summer at Great South Bay Music Festival. Do you have anything lined up for the rest of the year? I know you're always looking and playing gigs with Fat Nick and the
Summertime.
Snacks.
So this is like this is the time I'm booking summer. Oogeewawa has 3 shows coming up. We'll be at Flynn's, Great South Bay, and Dublin Deck. We're playing in one place in
That's all.
Pennsylvania.
That's all during the summer.
That's in the summertime. With Fat Nicky and the Snacks, I'm playing breweries, private parties, and I'm in Fire Island all summer pretty much.
Well, we'll link the Instagram and all
Yeah.
that stuff so you can get to it.
Where can we go to get your full list of stuff?
Instagram's probably the best spot. I always post when we're playing, and I actually haven't posted the list yet because it's all still coming in. So once by mail, by the when is it now? April, by May, mid May, we'll be able to get a whole list of the
whenever
summer.
it is, let me know and we'll share it out. So it can
but
be
Fat
thought of.
Nicky and the Snacks is what's it under, and it's common spelling on Instagram.
And we will have that link in the show notes. That way you don't have to worry about
Yeah.
finding
And
it.
you can just follow us on Instagram. That's the best way. We make our pictures quite nice. I Photoshop a lot of good pictures. So if you take a look at
With
those,
he did a Golden Girls one once with all their faces.
did you
on
see
it.
the last one I just did?
What was the last one? I forgot.
I did one for. We played Sand City. What was it? We had it was March 12th. We played Sand City. It was Queen. And I did a good one with Queen. And it was the one where they're all shadow and dark. Like Ryan, one of the bass players, like, do this one. I'm like, oh God, that's gonna be hard. So they're gonna be real hard. But I was able to get it. Like, that was awesome. You gotta find that one. That one's on
The
there.
past
that
one,
was,
yeah,
that
you gotta
one
take a
came
look.
out real good.
Yeah.
And funny, Nick Donnelly, the guitar player, he for some reason he comes out great every time. It's never a face that I can't put his face
Yeah.
on. It won't be perfect.
If you follow them, you got to go back and look at what they've done for
you
others.
can scroll
It's
through.
hysterical.
We like to keep it like that. It's funny because there's not really any pictures of what we actually look like, except for one in the green room when we open for Springfield. But I have to. I'm gonna start posting. I gotta post a couple of pictures of us as us, so people know what we actually look like.
It's funny.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat
This
with
has been
us
great.
and share your stories. It's been
Thanks
fun.
for having
definitely.
me.
Yeah,
So you doing a closing? Do you have it up?
I have it up, but I'm too lazy to read it, so you can read it.
Wow. Okay, cool. Well, thank you for listening to Turn On the Music. We want to thank Nikki for joining us once again.
Thank you.
Turn On the Music, the podcast. We hope that you join us next week. Follow us on Twitter at Turn On the Music and on Instagram at Turn On the Music Podcast. If you like what you heard, share with a friend. And if you really want to help us promote the show, head over to Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star rating. Please enjoy a little clip of Nikki singing Grease.